Hey, what's up, folks? How you doing? Welcome to yet another episode of Cafeteria Science. And in today's episode, I have somebody that needs no introduction, Fara, the man himself. So we're hoping to have a very interesting conversation. We're going to talk about a series of things and just let the conversation flow. So allow the man to introduce himself.
What's up, guys? Farah here, father of the family, and as you can see today, I'm here with Seraph on Cafeteria Science. Let's keep.
Just as a way of introduction, I stumbled across you from the icon, Zambia.
That beat could have been killed better. Play the same beat as his.
Look, basing LSK, but the niggas who press and play and amazed by the way I blaze are from Vegas, United States. On the Cape, down in SA, they say I would be great if I came straight out they place. But hey, let me explain. I'm more than a blessing, buddy. My flows are already godly. I know it cause I'm supported by my core, a developed country. Therefore, I still blow if I was born in an open Ghazi. So call me Rodney, a king but as wise as Gandhi. 19, still spitting 16s. Dissing me while you're living with your moms is cheap. Got vicious scenes wild enough to make these niggas flee. Speaker, please, listen dog, I brought the tick with me. I crack jaws and snap scars and the nastiest standoffs. The mad antagonistic narcissist officers can't stop. Ain't got no cloth up in my closet. Bodies are bagged, dog. When I say rocking on your noggin, talking about headshots.
I wanted us to talk about that creativity as well as how you were. I looked you up and saw some of the videos that you've done.
Yeah.
And something caught my attention. Of course, it had to be some science-related stuff. And I saw you dropping bars on like chemistry and physics and stuff like that. I was this is somebody worth having on the podcast. So, yeah.
Well, it started when I was 13 years old, man.
Yeah.
Like I was literally just walking, and then the TV was on, and then I saw an 8 Mile commercial. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? And then I heard Eminem rapping in the background. I'm like, yo, that sounds so cool. Yeah. And then I told my sister about it. She was like, I got this song on my phone. You want to hear it? And then, bro, I played that song, I think 3 months straight every night, bro. I had no phone at the time. I used to ask, can I listen to that? Can I listen? I mastered every line. And then one night I'm just like, I gotta write my own, bro. I gotta write my own. Yeah. So that's what happened, man.
Yeah.
After that, I kept practicing. And then when I reached the 12th grade, my mom was like, you either gotta choose between the music or your education.
Yeah.
And then I was mad for like an hour. And then I just went to my room. I'm like, why not do both? Why not do both? And then I made one rap about mathematics. Yeah. And then it was dope. I posted it. People loved it, bro. Yeah. And like, why not do more of these until I write my final examination? And then I did all that stuff. 12th grade came. Yeah. In the exam room, I was literally reciting my raps, man. And it worked.
Yeah.
The exam passed. I passed. And then here we are, bro.
Yeah.
The icon.
Yeah.
The icons.
I think just as a point of interest, your mom perhaps there's this idea that music in our country doesn't really accord you any economic viability of sorts. So it's almost as if you delve into music so much, you have practically thrown away your career. Maybe that's the place she was kind of working from when she asked you to choose between either music or school. And perhaps you were over prioritizing the music. Weren't you not for her to like feel that way? What was the situation? Why did she tell you that?
So, okay, what happened was in the 11th grade, that's when I went viral for the first time. And then I was so excited because K-Star called me. Who else called? Mikey 2 shared my post. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Yeah. So I was excited. So from there, she was like, okay, he might lose his way. Yeah. That's why she said that. So I just think she was being protected.
Yeah, true.
She was being protected. That's why she asked me that. But then I figured she might have worried way too much because she might have thought I completely lost my way in school. But she just didn't see my serious side of school because I was excited about the music. That's why she said that. But what you said about music not giving you anything financially, I just feel like that's an opinion from somebody who hasn't exactly studied the music as a whole.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to give an opinion about something you don't completely know about.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody can tell you, no, don't jump from a tree because you're going to break your leg. Yeah. But what if you're going to jump from a tree, a tall tree for that matter, because you have a parachute? Yeah. They don't see the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why I feel like music in Zambia does work if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
If you got a strategy, you got a plan, it will work eventually.
Yeah, true. That's true. I think there's so much room for growth as well as just room to like break through the barriers and let your career take off. I feel we're slowly also, just as a country, we're slowly starting to appreciate really raw talent and depth and content, as opposed to just like the surface feel good type of music that we're usually crowded with. Yeah,
I feel like because of that surface level music, we have a reason to have deep, like under the ocean kind of music, because we can now contrast. Like back then, all they had was, I mean, they didn't have anything at all.
Yeah.
And then when they gave them the surface level stuff, it felt like they have something now. Yeah. But now we have something to compare that to.
Yeah.
That's where the deep thinking rappers come in.
Yeah. It's almost as if the foundation has already been laid down.
Yeah. Now we can build off of it.
Yeah. And just to like bring out a little bit of some more context. Rap and poetry and art achieves many things to different people. So my question basically is, what drives you? Like, why do you do what you do, and why do you even write? For what's the primary purpose undergirding your writing?
So really, it's not something that is actually complicated.
Yeah.
Like, there's something that I heard from somebody great, critic actually. He was like, music is the sound of your feelings.
Yeah.
So whenever I write, I just say or describe the way I'm feeling. Yeah. So even when I'm writing to a beat, the beat has to talk to me first before I can use any word.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you can make a playful rap only because you're in the mood to rap. Then sometimes you can just get on a beat and say everything you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got a song called No Filter. That song was talking about the stuff I don't like to tell people.
Yeah.
But in that very moment, I was like, you know what? I gotta vent this out, man. I don't wanna harbor this stuff inside of me anymore. I just want to release it. And then when I was writing that song, it was painful. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was very painful to write that song. It was at midnight. I called my best friend. I'm like, yo, I don't know how I'm feeling right now, but I think I can say it on a song. And then I wrote that song, sent it to him, and then we chilled the next day. Like, he was like there for me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what drives me to write is my feelings, my emotions, and everything.
Yeah. And I feel like if we had to draw a contrast between the approach I took towards like my rapping and my poetry and yours feels more grounded, because human emotions are not something that you can outrun or outgrow, because you feel differently about different types of situations, you know. I heard this song that you did. It was like on a white background, you're in a jacket, and then you started that's no filter.
That's no filter.
I actually didn't know that.
That's no filter.
I couldn't record the title of the song. And then you were practically listing out all the people that
I heard. Yeah. So that was at the very end, but like, the reason is that song was like a healing session for me, because I used to be rude. Like, I used to be a jerk to people, like, just for fun. Like, no reason. You approach me, I tell you some rude stuff just for laughs. But really, I was only doing that to, like, cope. You know, it was a coping mechanism to me. For being rude to other people made me feel better about not feeling good about myself. So after I released everything that made me be a jerk to other people, I realized, oh, shit. Yeah. Can I say that?
Yeah. Anything, man. This is like a raw podcast. This is the rawest podcast you could ever do.
All right.
Yeah.
So after that, it just felt like, okay, now that I've talked about what makes me be a jerk, I got to go back to the people and let them know it wasn't you the problem. It was all me. Yeah. So those are the names that I listed. Yeah. Because trust me, those people were very good to me, and I knew they were good to me. So I took advantage of that and like spread negative energy. And then I realized, nah, man.
And following that approach, I feel it's almost as if your art has some kind of like psychological benefit to it, you know? It's rare that people actually introspect and look through themselves and clean themselves up. And if your piece of artistry actually got you to that point, then it calls for some level of commendation. You know?
Appreciate it.
Man. Yeah. And so the other question I had in mind was, what do you want to do with this? Where do you want to take it? What's the end game for you?
Oh man, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. So the thing is, I just want to give hope, you know, to, there's kids, I'm not going to lie, there are a lot of kids that text me every day saying, you know what, you inspired me. And then I used to ask them until they told me why. I used to ask them, why do I inspire you? And then they're like, because I'm pretty sure you've been told many times that English rap doesn't work in Zambia, and you do it anyway. So that alone, that is what I want to change about Zambia, man. I want them to know it works.
Yeah.
It does work if you do it this way, that way. If you just do it the right way, it works, and it can be sold out there.
Yeah.
So the thing is, our official language is English.
Yeah.
And it can be heard outside of Zambia.
Yeah.
If it's heard outside of Zambia, that means we have an export that can also be listened to internally.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm not trying to like
Denigrate FARAH.
yeah. It's dope too. But it's been done before, and I feel like that's not breaking new ground.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make it broad, you know what I'm saying? Like I want it to expand.
Like relatable on a larger scale.
Yeah. And it's not only because I want to do it for them, but there's a part of it where I'm doing it for me too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm only human, man. I've received a lot of criticism, and sometimes you just want to like prove I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only human, bro.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. If you restrict yourself to like FARAH, it's provincial. Like it's gonna be like for your people here and now.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's almost as if you won't break barriers with the people like on a larger scale, on a global scale, or something like that.
That's true.
Although somebody can raise the argument that look at what South Africans have done with their music. In a sense, they've almost like pushed some sort of like cultural diversity, and now somebody's jamming to Amapiano in like Australia or something like that, and they don't even know a single word.
So the way I see it,
yeah,
in the music industry,
yeah,
everybody has a role to play.
okay,
So the cultural diversity, it can be done. It should be done.
yeah,
Just not by me.
exactly.
So my role is
Yes.
the English rap specific.
Yeah.
To take it out there.
Yeah.
The cultural diversity, I'm not saying it's not dope.
Yeah.
It is, but I just feel like I'm preoccupied.
Yeah.
That's not my field at the moment. Maybe when I'm done with this, I can go there.
Yeah.
But for now, I got a mission.
Yeah, it's like you're practically a puzzle piece in a grander thing, you know?
Yeah.
And we all can be doing the same thing.
Exactly. Everybody has a role to play.
Yeah. Let's make this conversation a bit more spicy. You did a song about the 10 Commandments, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that song, you sounded like you almost aired out some kind of like criticism to some sort of like lukewarm Christians. So I would like to obviously this is something that even my audience is going to know would interest me. So what's your approach? Like, what were you trying to get out with that song specifically?
The Ten Commandments. First line says, some people believe they'd be too smart to be Christian. In the story of creation, there's no God in the picture. And during slavery, something. But
yeah, those first lines are the ones I was like totally interested in.
Yeah. The reason is most people go like, nah, the whites came and then they started slavery, and then afterwards they gave us the Bible in return just so we can forgive them.
Yeah.
But the Bible is innocent.
Yeah.
What they did, maybe it was true. Who knows? Maybe they gave us the Bible in return. You know, but when you read the Bible itself, you can use that outside of slavery.
Yeah.
Like that alone can help you with life personally, with or without slavery. The Bible is good. So most people go like, nah, I'm atheist because I believe the whites are the ones that gave us the Bible.
Yeah.
See, the truth is, the Bible got nothing to do with it. Like, that's why the 10 Commandments came into that rap. Like, I was explaining each point to make it clear that you can live your life independently by believing in God without other people around you in life, and you can live successful.
Yeah.
That's where the whole thing came in.
Yeah.
So the line that says some people believe they'd be too smart to be Christian,
Yeah.
that was breaking down the fact that there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
There's no like secret agenda behind it. It's just believing and not believing. If you don't want to believe, don't believe. If you believe, you believe.
Yeah.
That's it.
I get your point. Although I just feel like it's a little bit more like simplified. It's like a very simple approach to like belief and stuff like that. And for people who come down with this argument, like, you know, that slavery had nothing, the Bible had practically nothing to do with slavery and stuff like that. I feel where it gets a little bit complicated is if you say the whites used the Bible to propagate slavery, like you find all the arguments you need right inside the Bible, which you feel has nothing to do with it, because the Bible has direct injunctions to like to own slaves. You know, it even tells you like in some specific verses like treat your slaves well, and you slaves treat your masters well. You know what I mean? And sometimes it even gives you like rules and regulations for how you can go about giving your slaves to your children and your children's children and your children. There's like a whole guideline for how to own slaves, how to transfer your slaves to other people. Like it's practically in the book. So I've heard arguments where people have been saying, what we like to do is propagate like Pan-Africanism. Like, leave us with our raw culture and stuff like that, instead of bringing us a book that is purely Eurocentric and was back in slavery for millennia. You know?
Yeah, but the rap was about the 10 Commandments, specifically the 10 Commandments. Yeah. But you saying, let us stick to our culture.
Yeah,
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
I did think about that, but in the sense of where the world is going, I feel like you will have to erase all the Western teachings we've ever learned, and then go back to everything that we knew before the Western teachings, and then have to pick up all the way from there. So it's like crying over spilt milk to say, okay, we don't want your Bible anymore. We want our African culture back. So it makes sense, but it's too little too late.
Yeah.
You see that, right? So instead of fighting about it, I prefer getting the good side of what's already existing. Like, okay, the building collapsed. What are we going to do? Blame the person who did it, or are we going to rebuild?
Yeah.
You see
I
that,
get
right?
you, and that's a valid point, because, I mean, a lot has happened, and who's going to start praying to, like, what's that? Praying mantis?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's almost as if religion, for most people, has become a little bit more complicated. They would rather have that Jesus figure in their life. And there's also another racial argument underlaying the Jesus and all that stuff.
So that's where it goes back to accepting the Bible. And as maybe they had used it for wrong, but when you read it now, it still works for you in your favor.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe they had used the Bible wrongly. Like, the teachings that you had said, treat your slaves good and your slaves should teach it good.
Yeah.
Maybe it was favoring the whites.
And I feel practically what you're saying, I feel like that's not, it shouldn't be like a feature. It shouldn't be like a feature of like what should stand out as practically a good book that is inspired by like a supernatural thing. Because the Bible shouldn't leave room for a multiplicity of interpretations. You know what I mean? I shouldn't read the Bible and propagate racism. I shouldn't read the Bible and propagate misogyny and stuff like that. If it's truly like a book that is inspired by a supernatural, intelligent being, the message should be like unifying in a very unique sense. If I read what's in the Bible, I should come off feeling like there should be like a unifying direction in all of us who read it. Somebody reads it, they're justified in their approach. Slavery, those guys, the abolitionists were also justified in using the Bible to counter slavery. And also those guys who are on the side of slavery also use the Bible.
That's the reason I don't go to church. That's not like, it's not because church is bad. I just feel like the way I understand the Bible is not the way you're going to understand the Bible.
Yeah, true.
And the way somebody out there understands the Bible is not the same way somebody somewhere else is going to understand the Bible. Yeah. So that's why we have so many different, like,
religions and denominations.
Don't even go far. In Christianity.
Yeah, within.
We got SDAs, we got Pentecostal.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. Why are we praying to the same God and have so many different? And the worst part about it is that I've gone to these churches and they always talk bad about the others. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we were all friends, guys. And that's where I stopped going to church, because I feel like I can read the Bible today. I'll get this understanding, and then my understanding, I'll take it to somebody else, and then I'll tell them this is what the Bible means. They're gonna read the Bible, understand it differently, and tell me, no, this is not what the Bible means. The Bible means conflict.
Yeah.
So I read the Bible, I know what I understand from the Bible, I live my life good, I treat people good. You read the Bible, do whatever you want with it, be good to other people. Simple.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And very
I don't like to complicate life, man.
Yeah. Last question on this point. I want to hold you down to that line you said, some people feel they're too smart to be Christian.
Yes.
Does being Christian strike you as like something that should be left for the dumb people, or like people who are below average when it comes to like
I feel like, personally speaking, I was kind of stupid to be atheist once.
Okay, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I was once atheist, like from the 7th grade
Yeah,
to the 11th grade.
yeah,
Then I met this friend of mine saying, I don't have to preach to you or tell you about God for you to believe. He's going to reveal himself to you. So I did not know what that meant. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
how is God going to come? Like, he's going to come to my door. Hey, I'm God.
Yeah.
Like, then he just said, pay attention to detail.
yeah,
He just said those words, pay attention to detail. And then I started looking at life, like just things that happen. And then I took RE for a purpose. Like I took RE so I can learn what that meant.
yeah,
So there was a topic that says sometimes God directs people using people, life situations, and sometimes even just friends, what they say. Then I started putting things together. I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah,
God is not going to let you be lazy by letting himself come to you and talk to you himself. He's going to let you, he wants you to read the signs. Like, so many things point out to God's revelation, but people just don't pay attention to that. I don't want to come off as preachy by saying, stop whatever you're doing and start looking for God's signs. Nah. Like, sometimes it's, I'm not going to lie, I've tested God. I have. Like, sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to cross this road without looking. And if you're really there, you protect me. This was pretty stupid, bro. A 4-lane road. I literally closed my eyes. I crossed it. And I'm like, no way, that was chance, bro. And that's why I'm saying sometimes I felt like I was dumb to be atheist. Because I used to say, no way, man. And then I started doing these experiments, these little experiments. I'm like, if God is real, this won't happen.
But don't you think what you were doing and maybe the things that your friend asked you to look out for can practically be reduced to like confirmation bias? Because you're already in a circle where you're already in a mental space where you're expecting certain things and you've got certain like perceptions that you want to, in short, you already have a void that you want to fill. So like, it's almost as if you're going to psychologically look for something that's going to translate into filling that void already.
Nah, let me tell you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, when you tell an atheist to believe in God, he's going to hate you.
Depends which atheist you come across.
I hated that person. I hated, you're atheist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you picked that out already.
Okay. I hated that friend of mine. I'm not going to lie to you. I hated him to death. I blocked him. Bro, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but even now you're still blocked. But the reason I hated him is because I felt like he was trying to control how I was living my life. Yeah. Like, why are you telling me to believe in what you believe? Yeah. So then
how was he doing it? Was it like forcing you to have a conversation, or he was like,
Fara, can I talk to you? I'm like, okay, sure, what's up? And then he sits me down. He even told me to stop rapping at the time.
Okay, I think that's a new brand. That's a different brand of atheist you came across.
Nah, he was an atheist. Like, I was atheist, and he told me to stop rapping because rapping was unholy. Like, bro, leave me alone.
He was telling you that while he's atheist?
No, he was an atheist. I was atheist.
Okay. Yeah.
He was an atheist. I was atheist.
Oh, okay.
So he was trying to make me believe in God, and I did not want to do that.
I got it the other way. I thought you mean he was atheist and trying to like...
No.
Yeah.
I was the atheist.
Yeah.
So I did not want to turn to God. I'm like, he doesn't exist. It's not real. Like, you're not smart enough to see that God isn't real. That's how I was thinking at the time. Yeah. And then sometimes, man, like, you just sit, bro. You think, like, okay, why did he tell me that? Yeah. Nah, he doesn't know much. And then I used to think I was smart. Like, I used to think, like, in school I was getting good grades, so I used to think everything I thought was correct. Yeah. And then I started thinking, I'm like, but some things can't be explained, but why do some things happen? Why do this? I have some personal experiences I can't share here that completely turned me back to seeing him. Like, I didn't see him literally. Like, that's the thing. You have to focus, man. Like, you have to pay attention to the things that go on. Like, some things just don't happen because you want them to happen. The thing about crossing the road, that was the first test. I was just seeing. Like, I didn't instantly believe. I'm like, what are the odds? What are the odds? But then some things started happening in succession. Yeah. Succession. And then I'm like, okay, I believe that.
So, like, when you were atheist, though, like, what were some of the primary reasons that made you feel like there is no God?
Because I used to believe in the scientific way of things happening.
Okay.
I used to believe in the world's evolution. I believed in things like, well, I don't really remember exactly what made me atheist, but there were things that I believed I could explain if I just studied more about it. Like I just felt like, nah, humans just don't understand this because they don't know how to explain it. But then I figured, wait a minute. The only reason this can't be explained is because we're only human. Yeah. And no matter how much we study this stuff, it can't be explained. And then there was a scientist that I came across that said, I used to be atheist because I believed in science. And then I studied science, and then I believed God is real. Okay. So that was kind of like relating to me because I figured, wait, if we go back to evolution and say the Big Bang Theory was real, who put the elements in place for the Big Bang Theory to happen, for it to be so perfect, humans would exist, and this would happen the way it is? Yeah, I get you. Now, I'll go back to you. Why are you atheist?
Oh, for me, it's like, I have a bunch of reasons, but my reasons are not like science is a substitute for belief, you know what I mean? Because I feel you can perfectly believe. I mean, science doesn't even need to be believed in. It's just science. It's almost like the fact that, how can I explain it? It's almost like saying water is 2 parts oxygen and 1 part hydrogen. Mm-hmm. You don't need to believe that. It's just like a set of information. If you read it, it's just that. Or if you jump off a cliff, gravity is gonna like compel you to come down. Like that's just the way things are. So when people say some stuff like, I don't believe in God because I believe in science, like those two are irreconcilable because you can still believe in God and believe in science. And you can use the science to actually prove the existence of God. But for me, the primary reason why I'm atheist is because I feel like there's certain things that didn't quite make sense to me. I have a Jehovah's Witness background. So when I was a Jehovah's Witness, there was this time we had the COVID closure, when COVID first broke out. So all of us went home. I think I was in second year of university at the time. And then when we went home, I decided to do something unique and something different. I wanted to read about the 2 topics that Jehovah's Witnesses are heavily opposed to, which is the Big Bang Theory as well as evolutionary biology. So I was like, you know what? Let me read these topics from people that are actually opinion leaders in the topic. Like I read about evolution from actual evolutionary biologists. I read about the Big Bang from actual physicists, you know, right, as opposed to like my magazines and stuff like that. So when I started reading that, it just felt like
make more sense.
Yeah, it felt like this is really making sense. Why is it that we're so heavily opposed to it?
You know, I feel like, okay, this is how I believe right now.
Yeah.
This is me today.
Yes.
Most people think it's either science or religion.
Yes, it doesn't have to be like that.
The truth is, it's science and religion.
Yes.
Let me tell you why. If you go back to 2001,
yeah,
you go back to 2001, and you used ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Imagine what the people at that time would think.
It would be extraordinary.
Yeah, so I believe God is science we haven't quite understood yet.
Yeah.
He's way ahead. He's a scientist. He's not even science. He's the scientist. And miracles are simply just science way ahead of our time. Yeah. What if time travel is time travel is real, yeah, but it's only supernatural to us now because we haven't reached the level of understanding that God has.
But that runs counter to what you said earlier. You seem to hint at the fact that there's certain things that we really can't bring ourselves to understand because we're just humans.
Yes.
In one word, you said we're just humans. And so because we're just humans, there's certain things that we should leave in the space of like God.
Yeah.
And some people have criticized that, saying religion is basically like the polite way to say, I don't know. You know? What's wrong with saying you don't know? Okay. What happens to us when we die? What happens to this? And then you postulate like a religious answer. Why can't you just say you don't know? Most scientists, if you ask them like, what happened? Who first put the first replicating molecules into motion? Who first banged it? They'll openly tell you like, we don't know. That's like an area of inquiry that we haven't yet tapped into. But we won't give you guess answers. Like religious people are uncomfortable by saying they don't know.
That's the thing. It's not that it's counter to what I said earlier. Yeah. I said some things can't be explained because we leave them to God. Why did I say that?
Yeah.
Because God is the ultimate superior scientist above all scientists. And scientists of our time cannot comprehend everything God does because God has reached a level of understanding of science that humans can only
Yeah.
dream of.
And that's understandable, but the whole enterprise first, before you even like posit that stance, is you have to first prove that that same God you're leaving everything to is actually there to be left everything to.
Bruh, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like, science alone should be proof that God exists.
Yes.
I remember talking about a scientist studying so much science, it led him back to God.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you study so much, you reach a level where you can't comprehend anymore. Like, okay, so I've studied everything, but why can't I still create? If I know so much about how the body works, why can't I create a human being myself?
Yeah.
That's where, like, that's what I'm saying. Think of time.
Yeah.
Think of time. God is ahead of us.
Yeah.
He's a scientist. He's real.
Yeah.
He's ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
What we know today is something that he knew when we were somewhere else. So what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, okay, think about this. I want you to think of the simplest things. Think of airplanes. Think of submarines. Think of jetpacks.
Yeah.
What if angels in the Bible were just people wearing jetpacks? But since the people at that time couldn't understand what they were, they thought they were people with wings flying.
Yeah.
What if Jonah wasn't swallowed by a fish and he was just in a submarine?
In that case, then you're practically saying science basically flies above everything. There's no room for mystery or like stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna explain it someday. It's just that we don't have the mechanism right now.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna explain it someday, what enterprise are we gonna use? Science.
It's science.
So at the end of the day, what we call like miracles or spiritual things are practically things that will fall within science and will be explained by science. And once that is done, there's no space for like the supernatural. There's just natural stuff.
Okay, wait, what did you say? Supernatural?
Yes, like
what if supernatural came from natural?
Yeah.
But it's super, and the super only carries the weight because
we haven't really explained it
yeah.
yet.
It's all natural. That's where supernatural comes in. Like, it's not really that deep, to be honest. What if what we call witchcraft?
It's practically just
not even what if herbs.
Yeah.
To some people, it's witchcraft.
But it's practically just plants.
Yes. Yeah.
Although for me, like personally, my bone of contention with religion goes deeper than just like I could maybe concede to the fact that there could be like some intelligent being somewhere out there, like a necessary being of sorts, somebody who's like, you know, putting reality into play. But
I think I know where
when
you're
it
going
comes
with
to
it.
like Jehovah, Jesus, the Bible, and stuff like this, I feel like the Bible is a book that has been beaten into submission by basic mainstream science.
So you're saying you do believe?
No, I don't.
Well, hold on, I'm not done. You do believe in a superior being. You just don't believe the way they talk about that superior being to be.
No, I'm saying there could, as a matter of probability, there could be some kind of supernatural entity out there who's like above everything else, outside time, matter, and space. But personally, I just don't think it's like the biblical God or the Quran or stuff like that. Because when you look at the Bible, it's almost as if there's so many things that you can point out that are in error, to a point where if you can point out one contradiction or just one scientifically unsound
other
thing,
contradictions could there be?
one particular, okay, like if, let me just finish this thing. Like if you could point out just one particular contradiction or one particular error in relation to mainstream science, it's like, why should a book that is God-breathed have all these flaws?
Okay.
So for example, the issue of the case of Adam and Eve, or the case of Adam being like the first human being. But if you look at human biology as well as human history, Adam and Eve, the way it's talked about and the way it's painted in like religious literature, it's almost like the type of human that we are. Like we've had a long trail of like human evolution, and we have a lot of data to like back this up, evidential data to show you that Adam in no way could he be like the first human in any rational sense. You know what I mean?
Right. So
unless you're going to say that the story is practically like a parable or something,
I feel like
mean something else, but not that it's the history of human evolution.
The way I see the Bible is it's not literal.
Yeah.
Like when writing a song, you can use metaphors,
Yeah.
but the concept is completely different. You can talk about, I feel like the more that I climb up this ladder, the more that I feel like I fall, the more that I travel this path, the more that I feel like I'm hitting the wall. So that, in the literal sense, doesn't make sense. Like, how can you climb up the ladder and fall? And how can you travel a path and hit the wall? So that,
It's like metaphor.
yeah, that's what I personally believe the Bible is.
Okay,
When I read the Bible, I hear stories about many people, but when I relate them to my life, I know, okay, so that could have meant this about my life.
And that's perfectly fine. But do you think, like, say for example, a story like Noah's Ark is not something that he's historically binding? It's just like a metaphor. Or do you think there was an actual ark and there was actual animals that went into a wooden boat and were sailed off sea for like hours?
This is where I go back to the point of why I don't go to church. Because your view of it.
Yeah. Oh no, my view is perfectly in the Bible, man.
Yeah, no. I get it. Like the way I'm gonna explain it, somebody watching out there is gonna be like, Farah, that's not.
Yeah, it's not like in line.
Yeah, so because if I tell you my honest view of how I read the Bible, it's not gonna make sense to other people. But I know if I get what I know from the Bible, understand it the way I do, I'm gonna achieve the main goal of the Bible, because I personally believe the main goal of the Bible is to make humans live better with other people.
Yeah, true. Like it's just a moral book.
Yeah, morals.
Yeah.
That's the main. It's not something that should be talked about like
Scientifically.
Yeah, it's not something that should be argued. It's like a manual, a life manual. And if you use your life manual right, you live life properly. Like I don't want it to be. I don't see the Bible as something that should convince other people to believe. Like, nah. Screw you if you don't believe the Bible. Nah, bro. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's good to give it so many different views, but you shouldn't like impose it on others.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with churches.
Yeah, true. Churches like to proselytize and shove their beliefs down your throat.
Yeah. And you start feeling like you're living wrong if you don't do it by their way.
Yeah.
That's also what made me an atheist back in the day. Yeah. But then I figured, these are humans.
Yeah.
Why am I arguing with humans when I can deal with it myself and with God? I mean, why are you interested in my relationship with God when you don't know what I'm talking about with God? Yeah. That's why I feel like it's all a personal journey. Yeah. It shouldn't be
like shoved under anybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. That's
like if you're atheist and you're living with people the right way, what's the problem?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah, I get you.
See,
maybe
right?
to close off, there was a point you talked about, like God is not part of the design. Some people feel like God is not part of the design. In the lines.
Some people feel like they'd be too smart to be Christian.
And God is not part of the design. And then you explain that there's a lot of things in life that just make you feel some sort of way, like it deserves an explanation. Look at how scientists arrive at this thing, who first put this stuff in motion, who did this. And there's a silly question in philosophy. It's pretty silly and a lot of people laugh it off. And it's not something that a lot of like academic philosophers take serious, but I feel like it still makes a little bit of sense. When you say, so for example, look at the chicken. Like, look at how a chicken is moving. Like, do you honestly think a chicken just popped out of nothing? Like, there should have been a designer. Look at the human body and stuff like that. Yeah. But then, if you use the same logic and be consistent in your logic, then the same designer that you're going to posit for the chicken also warrants an explanation. Like, who designed the designer? You know? So you find yourself in a trail, like an infinite regress. Like the designer deserves a designer, designer. So if you're gonna say no, the designer doesn't need a designer. He's just there. It's like that's why it's good, because it doesn't need to be designed by anybody. Why can't we say the same thing about animals and humans? Like who said they need a designer? Like,
but I feel like the only reason they talk about a designer not having a designer is because they want the easy way out. Yeah. The truth is, God has a God.
But then
not everybody's gonna have the guts to say it, but I will say it.
But God, if God has a God, then that's the God you should be worshiping.
No. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
Yes.
We human beings are gods.
Okay.